Welcome to Hollywood Guns, the channel dedicated to showcasing the real-world firearms from your favorite action movies, thrillers, and TV series. Here we explore what the movies got right, what they exaggerated, and which iconic guns truly lived up to the hype. If this is the kind of deep dive you're into, you're in the right place. This channel was made for you.
Hello and welcome to Hollywood Guns. I'm your host Wilson. Whether you're into action flicks, classic thrillers, or unforgettable TV shows, this is the place where movie magic meets real-world firearms.
Today, we're talking about a firearm that didn't just look like it was from the future. For a while, it was the future. When it first appeared on the silver screen, most audiences didn't know what to make of it. Was it a prop, a sci-fi creation, something cobbled together by the armorer just to look cool? Nope, it was real. With its bullpup layout, integrated scope, and modular design, this rifle didn't just stand out, it redefined the silhouette of combat weapons. Compact, accurate, rugged, and delightfully unconventional. In this episode, I'll take you through its background, how it works, where it served, and of course, count down the movies that turned it into a cinematic legend. So are you ready? Will you agree with my picks? Let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the top 5 movie appearances of the Steyr AUG. History of the firearm. First off, I am filming on location at the Bear Arms Reference Collection again in Scottsdale, Arizona. Bear Arms has been one of the longest supporters of the channel, and most of the videos on exotic firearms that you've seen so far wouldn't be possible without their support. So if you're in the area, please drop by and let them know that Hollywood Guns sent you. The Steyr AUG is a bullpup-configured 5.56mm rifle designed in Austria in the late 1960s and officially introduced in 1977. It was light years ahead of its time, not just in appearance, but in function and ergonomics. Let's start with what made it so radical. First, the bullpup layout. By relocating the action and magazine behind the trigger, the AUG was able to retain a full-length 20-inch barrel in an extremely compact package. It was shorter than its competitor, the M4 carbine, despite giving the caliber more velocity and reach. Second, modularity. And not modular in the modern swap a handguard sense, I mean true battlefield-ready modularity. The AUG was designed from the start to have a quick change barrel, and you'll see this in most of my movie picks. You could switch from a compact carbine to a full-length rifle to a designated marksman configuration in seconds. The bolt group, trigger pack, and even the optics could be swapped to suit the mission. Third, optics. Most Western military rifles in the 1970s were still iron sight only. The AUG comes standard with an integrated 1.5x optic with a combat reticle built into the carry handle. And then there's the furniture. The AUG was one of the first military rifles to make extensive use of polymer construction. Its green or black synthetic housing reduced weight and increased resistance to weather and wear, and the translucent magazines were another futuristic touch. This allowed shooters to see exactly how many rounds they had left, a small detail, but one that shows just how forward-thinking the engineers were. And finally, it also uses a unique 2-stage progressive trigger. You pull lightly for semi-automatic, and you pull harder for full auto fire. While not universally loved by operators in the field, it simplified the fire selector mechanism and kept external controls pretty minimal. Service use and global footprint. The AUG was adopted by Austria as the STG-77, where it remains in service to this day, having undergone several modernization programs. And Australia also adopted it in the 1980s, and later developed improved variants as well. The Australian troops used it extensively in East Timor, Iraq, and Afghanistan, where it gained a reputation for accuracy and reliability. New Zealand and Ireland followed suit, as did Malaysia, which locally produced the AUG under license. By now, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you know the drill. Because of the movie clips I show, YouTube doesn't let me earn ad revenue the usual way. So that's where the sponsors come in. They keep the armory stocked, the lights on, so please enjoy these other movie guns while I tell you about them. First up, big thanks to Sonoran Desert Institute. If you've ever wanted to take your passion for firearms to the next level, whether that's gunsmithing, shooting sports management, or learning about commercial drone operations, SDI has flexible online programs that can help. Use the link in the pinned comment for more information. Oh, and also my own merchandise. If you like this content and want to support the channel, you can purchase an exclusive t-shirt like this one from the YouTube store or find it on the website, hollywoodguns.com too. Talking to t-shirts, Guns International, the absolute best online location to track down regular, rare and collectible firearms without bidding wars or middlemen. You can browse the listings, compare prices, and maybe even find something like this Ruger P90 from the movie Desperado. And also a big thanks to Guns International, because we're giving away another great prize package with several other brands. You can see who and what was won the last time we did this in the YouTube posts tab. To sign up to win, check out the web link in the description and pinned comment. The AUG may have looked strange to audiences in the 1980s, and to some extent still does today, but it proved that a well-executed bullpup could be reliable, accurate, and battlefield capable. And actually, on that word bullpup, I'm not sure where that term came from. So if you do know, can you drop a comment? Why was this configuration known as a bullpup? I would really appreciate it. And with that, let's get into its top 5 appearances in movies. Kicking off the list at number 5, we've got a lesser known but thoroughly enjoyable Cold War thriller, The Package, starring 2 heavyweights, Gene Hackman and Tommy Lee Jones. If you haven't seen it, the setup is classic late 80s espionage. Hackman plays a US Army sergeant tasked with escorting a military prisoner, played by Jones, from Germany to the US. What follows is a tense cat and mouse chase through the world of rogue operatives, assassination plots, and a high-stakes conspiracy to derail a nuclear disarmament treaty. It's low on flash, but brimming with taut script writing and tension, packed with the gritty realism that so many 80s thrillers nailed really well. Watching it again, I couldn't help but see shades and scenes reminiscent of Hackman's earlier classic, The French Connection. The Steyr AUG makes a memorable appearance in a pivotal assassination scene. It's a perfect choice for a covert sniper's weapon, compact, modular, and easily smuggled into position. We get some great close-ups of the AUG in this scene, even if we don't see it fired, which really is the only reason that it doesn't rank higher on this list.
Karl, what's this? Open it. Oh my. This is Austrian, right? Hey Karl, what's this? Who are you?
This is set up. They never intended to shoot the president from here.
As you know, I always reserve the number 4 slot for a British production. And I'll be honest, finding one that features the Steyr AUG wasn't easy. So I got 2 entries here that stretch the rules a little. First up, Octopusy. Believe it or not, this is the first known on-screen appearance of the AUG in any major film. And yes, it's in a Bond movie. In the scene, Bond shoots Soviet guards armed with Steyr AUGs, which is, let's say, historically questionable. Soviet troops in the early 80s carried Australian bullpups? Yeah, unlikely. They'd probably been issued AKs, not export-grade Western rifles. And before anyone asks, yes I know, where's the Walter PPK episode? Don't worry, I get reminded of this weekly, and it's coming.
Who are you?
I'm British Secret Service.
You should be more concerned about getting out of here alive.
I am more concerned about an atomic bomb exploding on a U.S. Air Force base. You surely can't be inviting a full-scale nuclear war. What happens when the U.S. retaliates?
Against whom?
Now the second entry, A Good Day to Die Hard, the final movie in the franchise. And this is also a little bit of a cheat. The film is directed by friend of the channel, John Moore, who's Irish, not British, but hopefully he'll give me a pass for a few reasons. One, the Republic of Ireland is, geographically speaking, part of the British Isles. The AUG is front and centre, used by the main protagonist, Alec, and his crew throughout the film, and John himself included it as a deliberate callback to the AUG's use in the original Die Hard. If you want more on John's firearm choices in the movies he directed or produced, like Max Payne, Behind Enemy Lines, or Siege of Jadotville, check out our long-form interview, and it'll be linked at the end of this episode.
John! Get in before I change my mind, Jesus!
Your goddamn guns down, asshole!
Give me our weapons.
Come and get them.
Really?
Really?
In at number 3, we have Harley-Davidson and the Marlboro Man. I had to slot this one pretty high on the list, not because it's a great movie, but because it's got the most screen time of the Steyr AUG in any production that I could find. Starring Mickey Rourke and Don Johnson, two of my adolescent heroes, the film's premise is pretty simple. Harley and Marlboro are out to save their beloved bar from being swallowed up by the bank, only to discover the bank is actually a front for a massive drug operation. Naturally, they hatch a plan to double-cross the bank, and the bank responds by sending a crew of bulletproof, leather trenchcoat-wearing enforcers, each one of them packing a Steyr AUG. The movie is a mixed bag. The barroom massacre and the Las Vegas rooftop shootout are explosive, but the direction and dialogue often falls flat, even though Don and Mickey deliver their lines well. Seeing it now for the first time, I'll admit it felt like a bit of an ordeal without the nostalgia factor to soften the rough edges. I'd put it in the same category as the A-Team. Pure 80s and 90s kind of energy if you watched it growing up, but it's a bit of a head scratcher if you're seeing it for the first time now. That said, the Steyr AUG action is top notch. Rows of henchmen laying down torrents of suppressive fire and synchronized mayhem. It's a sight to behold. However, to crack the top of this list, I'm looking for a great movie and great gunplay. But for sheer volume of Steyr AUG action, this one earns its spot at number 3.
Nice doing business with you boys.
Your business isn't with us, it's with them.
Well, whatever they gotta say, I don't want to hear it.
I thought you was a dead shot.
Sliding in at number 2 is a film that helped shape an entire generation of female-led assassin thrillers, Femme Nikita, directed by Luc Besson. Let's address the obvious. Yes, it's a little bit dated. The pacing is sometimes uneven, and Nikita's high-pitched delivery can be a bit of an adjustment if you're not already tuned into the 1990s kind of French cinema. But beneath that veneer lies an original, moody, and at times downright brutal action film that left a permanent mark on the genre. What really sets Nikita apart is how it handles her transformation from a drugged-out delinquent to a high-functioning government killer. The agency that recruits her just doesn't really invest in her survival, only in her appearance, etiquette, and ability to carry out cold-blooded missions. She's a weapon that they're willing to discard at any time, and you see that throughout the movie. And it's a chilling dynamic that most movies in the genre don't care to explore.
Allô?
Joséphine?
Oui.
Dans la salle de bain, l'armoire à pharmacie a un double fond.
Montage terminé.
Ouvre la fenêtre.
Ok.
Chemise bleue. Tu les alignes et tu restes en position.
Il y en a plusieurs là.
Je n'ai pas encore l'information.
Marie?
Contact, bordel.
La femme en marron. Ah, merde.
Before we hit the #1 spot, which you probably have guessed by now, here are a few honourable mentions that didn't quite crack the top 5, but are absolutely worth a shout out for AUG enthusiasts and action movie fans alike. The Expendables 2. The Steyr AUG is Jean-Claude Van Damme's weapon of choice in the second of the franchise, but unfortunately we don't get to see him actually fire it. Instead, his combat scenes stick to what he does best, kicks and hand-to-hand fighting. Still, it's always fun to see a modern AUG in the hands of an action legend. The Running Man. This one's peak Schwarzenegger, a dystopian bloodbath where America's worst nightmare becomes a ratings bonanza. And in this dark future, criminals and dissidents fight for their lives on a gladiatorial game show. A twisted take on entertainment that's all too plausible. We catch glimpses of the Steyr AUG in the hands of the Bakersfield police, and even see Ben Richards himself, played by Arnold, wielded a couple of times throughout the film. They're great cameos, but the AUG never quite steps into the limelight as a lead weapon. And finally, Predator 2. The AUG pops up in the film's opening scene during a gang shootout, helping set the stage for the Predator's arrival in Los Angeles. It's a memorable backdrop for the movie's lore. The Predator is drawn to violence and finds downtown LA ripe for the hunt. But in terms of actual gunplay, this scene is quick and it doesn't leave much of a lasting impression. Topping off this list, and honestly, how could it not, is John McTierman's action masterpiece, Die Hard. Arguably the greatest Christmas movie ever made. The Steyr AUG makes its most iconic appearance here in the hands of Karl, the cold, calculated enforcer of Hans Gruber's stylish crew. Unlike films where the AUG gets a passing cameo, Die Hard gives it a real screen presence. Its bullpup layout, integrated optic, and crisp profile cut through the steel and glass of the tower background. It's modern, lethal, and almost elegant in the hands of Gruber's well-tailored mercenary. And let's face it, Die Hard is a film where the guns matter. The Beretta 92, the HK94 chopped up into an MP5 configuration, Gruber's HKP7, all episodes on this channel that you can watch later, each are a character in their own right. With the Steyr AUG, this one stands apart. It's not the first time the AUG graced the silver screen, but it's the first time audiences really took notice. It's what cemented the rifle's place in the Cinematic Gun Hall of Fame. When you have a weapon that looks this futuristic, a cast that's iconic, and an action script that's flawless, that's how you earn the top spot. A great gun, a legendary movie. It's almost 40 years old and it hasn't aged a day. No debate, this is the #1 appearance of the Steyr AUG.
No one kills him but me.
Stupid Hans.
Shoot the glass.
John, come in.
We're both professionals. This is personal.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrap. I hope you enjoyed this countdown. Please join me in the comments as I read all of them, and let me know if you agree with the order or if I missed something out that should have been on the list. And once again, thanks to Bear Arms Reference Collection for providing the AUG, SDI and Guns International for sponsoring the video, and if you want to enter the free prize drawing, don't forget to click on the link in the description and pinned comment. I'll see you in the next one.
You've got some things to answer for, mister. Ellis was murdered for one thing. Property damage.